This machine can throw up to 110 miles an hour. You can literally feel the wind coming out from the wheels. That's crazy. And it can launch a ball up to 450 feet. But odds are, you probably never heard of this machine. The crazy thing about this machine is that it doesn't have 3 wheels, it actually has 4. I've used a ton of pitching machines, from the old 2-wheeled Jugs machine that was blue, all the way up to a $15,000 E-Hack Attack. And this one is pretty solid. The first thing that stood out about this machine is that it's pretty heavy duty. I lifted it in and out of the car and set it up all by myself, but you gotta have some muscle. So I had never actually seen a 4-wheeled pitching machine before this, and that got me thinking, is 4 wheels better than 3 wheels? And while they haven't shared any specific claims with me about why 4 wheels is better, here's what I can imagine would be the case. A 3-wheeled machine is better than a 2-wheeled machine because it allows you to switch righty versus lefty and allows you to get more plane without having to tilt the 2-wheel machine back and forth. So you can keep the machine stable and create whatever type of pitch you want. A 4-wheeled machine could theoretically be better at creating the right pitch designs if you're looking for more of a 12-6, or if you're looking to have a little bit more cut and not as much downward depth. I imagine that it would be easier to turn up that right wheel to simulate a bit of a cutter if that's what you're going to face in the game. It's a little bit harder to create with a 3-wheel machine than a 4-wheel machine. But I also have to imagine that if you go above 4, say to 5 wheels, now you just have too many contact points with the ball and it's probably not going to be any good. So we're going to test out the 4-wheel machine and see if we can recreate some of the pitches like a cutter or a 12-6 and look at what we can actually do with the spin. So let's actually go design some pitches and see what this machine can do. Okay, so we're here at the machine. You can see here when it says fastball, it says 10, 10, 10. The thing I don't like about that is all the wheels are then going at the same speed. So I actually turned the top wheel down and the side wheels down a little bit. This is at 10, this is at 7, and then these are at like 7.5, okay? So you can see before we were like 102 to 104. Now as we turn down the top wheels, I think we're gonna get better spin, but let's see what it's actually at. Processing 100.2. You can see that's still throwing absolute gas. If you're curious about how far away this is actually 60 feet 6 inches, full distance. And you can see the accuracy is going up as we turn the top wheel down and get the spin a little bit more consistent. That was 93, interesting, a little bit slower. Let's do it again. Sheesh, that is gas. Let's see what this one says. 101. That other one might have been a misread. Let's do one more. It also could be the fact that these balls that I'm using are pretty old, and so maybe one of them is like a little softer. 98.7. I think that other one was probably either a bad ball or a misread. So that's fastball. We're sitting anywhere from 98 to 101 miles an hour. Pretty consistent with the accuracy. Let's go to a 12-6 curveball. I'm gonna change this pretty aggressively. So we just turned this all the way to 10. This is down to like a 4, and then we're keeping these at 7s. I'm probably gonna need to raise this up quite a bit. Let's see how this works. Oh, that is gas. Wow, we might have to turn that down. Let's turn this down to like an 8 and a 3. That's a great pitch. That's a dream pitch if you're in an 0-2 count. So look at this, 75 miles an hour, total spin of almost 1,800 RPMs, spin efficiency 99.8. Now, I don't know as much about this stuff as I wanna know, but I'm pretty sure that's really good. Again, that is a great pitch to catch right there. That's one of those pitches that the catchers go, poof. You gotta learn to go get it, stay down, and go. And then it's super easy to adjust here versus here. That's all you need to make the difference between a block versus a receive. And so you can just have the catcher put their head down. You make that quick turn. They either gotta receive it or they gotta turn and block. It's a great drill. So now let's turn it into a little bit more of like a slider. So I'm gonna turn this up and this down. Tighten it back up. Oh, that is dirty. Oh, I love this stuff. 2,200 RPMs, 67 miles an hour. This is great stuff when it comes to actually getting catchers game speed reps. There's just no way that you can recreate the pitch that they're gonna see in the game that you have to win other than with the machine. There's just no chance. So now let's do a cutter. We're gonna need higher bottom speed, a little bit lower top speed, and then I'm gonna turn the right up. So Rapsodo probably knows a lot more about this, but cutter is a fastball but offset, and so a lot of times, if I understand it right, it'll spin like this. That's why you'll see the little images like this, and it shows from the catcher versus the pitcher where the spin axis is. So this is my guess on how to recreate the cutter. I'm putting this on like a 8.5, 8.5, 4.5, and 2. Let's see how it looks. Whoa, that makes sense. We were doing breaking ball, it was going down. And so if then you turn the bottom wheel up, it's gonna shoot up. So now we gotta tilt it down right here. That's pretty decent. That's still a little far to the side. So I gotta adjust this over even a little more. That's like a good little backdoor cutter right there. Let's see now. That's pretty good. Once you kind of figure out what your actual pitchers have, you can come on here, especially if you have like a Rapsodo, and you can literally recreate whatever the pitcher's gonna get with this, give it to your catchers or hit whoever you're about to hit. And you can do that really with any machine that is able to recreate this stuff, but I do really like this so far. That's pretty great. Okay, so I'm gonna gear up and get back there. And let's see how it actually is as we catch it. Here's my 3 rules whenever you're receiving off a machine. Rule number 1, watch the first pitch. You don't have to get back there right away. It's not tough. That's great. And this is especially true when you're working on like harder style pitches and harder breaks. Rule number 2, don't put your glove on the ground immediately, just catch the first one. Good. Now that we've pocketed a few balls, now it's time to put your glove on the ground. And if you're not pocketing the balls, just catch it first. A good 12-6 right there. Oh, that's scary. I'm not wearing a cup. You shouldn't do this at home. This is a great 12-6. By the way, on the 12-6, the big thing is that your eyes go up and then you go down. You need to train your eyes to stay down so you can catch it up. For context, that last pitch was 2,800 RPMs. I think that's a lot. Yeah, that's great. Okay, that's a great example of on the high curveball, we want to catch a little bit deeper because the further it travels this way, the more it breaks down. So we want to let it travel. And on the low curveball, we want to go catch it because again, the further it travels, the lower it goes down and it's already low. So we want to go get it here. And on the high one, we want to catch it deep. Oh, that's great. These curveballs are so good. So you can see that's a pitch where I'm just gonna catch it. That's just a strike. I don't need to do anything. On this pitch here, I'm gonna come through, and on that high pitch, again, we're catching it back. Beautiful. Okay, now let's go back to the dugout and let's talk about all the details of the machine. I'll give you a little review. Okay, so now you got to see the Furlong 747BH in action, and it doesn't just sound like an airplane, it's kind of heavy duty like an airplane too. Let's talk about the adjustability. You could tell from what we were doing, it's pretty easy to adjust the dials, and then you just got to get the horizontal and the vertical angle right so that the pitch goes where you want it to go. Now, it's not an electronic machine. It's not going to automatically go and put it exactly where you want it every time, but it's a pretty good machine, pretty reliable and repeatable based off of what you even saw from the Rapsodo. When it comes to portability, the thing is fairly heavy. I was able to lift it in and out of my car with one person, set it up all by myself, but this is gonna be a machine that you likely wanna have at a field or at a facility or something like that where you're doing heavy duty stuff. Like this is perfect for catching because you can really recreate some high level spin that you would see at game speed that otherwise without a big time machine like this, you're just not gonna be able to recreate. So right now, the Furlong 747BH comes in just over $2,000, which considering the quality of the machine, is pretty darn good. The other 2 biggest players in the market are probably Hack Attack and A-Tech. And when you look at their similar models of the 3-wheeled machines, they're upwards of $3,000 and even $4,000. So for this machine, you're getting a very comparable heavy duty style machine for almost half the price. And that makes me think at least, well then, is this machine durable? Is there a warranty? Well, here's what it says on their website. There's a 12-month warranty that covers any defects in materials and workmanship, and a 24-month warranty for the motor, the bearings, and the wheels. So if anything goes wrong, then you should be covered. So I talked about this a little bit, but who is this not for? If you are a youth player or you're running a youth team that doesn't need super high speeds, or you need super easy in and out, portability, you can move it around, this probably isn't the machine for you. But if you're a high school or college team, you own a facility where you're not gonna be moving the machine that much, or a professional player who's looking for a really high level pitching machine, this has a pretty good bang for your buck. I will say the one thing that I'm not a fan of when it comes to the 4 wheels is it's a little bit harder to see the ball. With a 3-wheel machine, you can see the hand actually put it in and it rolls into the machine. But with the 4 wheels, there's a wheel right there. And so you can't necessarily see the ball come out as well. That's also a trade-off for the price and the extra ability to customize the pitch exactly how you want. So all that being said, that's why the Furlong 747BH is probably the best pitching machine that you've never heard of. It's fast, flexible, and built for real training. If you want to learn more about it, I've got the link right down below. Go ahead and check it out. And if you want more gear or machine breakdowns like this, let me know what you want to see down in the comments. I'm Coach Bougie. I'll catch you later.